Malcom Fowler. He's a lawyer from Birmingham, a member of the Human Rights Committee.
When Hussein, thank you, Lord Clerk, Tony, if I may. When Hussein, our good friend Hussein, told me yesterday of Lord Corbett's death, I was very distressed. I could hardly speak. We must redouble our efforts, remembering his inspiration. Lady Corbett, Vale, told us earlier on that Robin was here with us. A moment's quiet reflection will cause us all to appreciate that that was nothing glib or trite or mundane. It's pure fact. He is here with us. He will be with us hereafter. He was tireless. And for him, what was right was right. And what was wrong was wrong. What an inspiration for us all. When it comes to the law, I am a lawyer. I'm on the Human Rights Committee of the Law Society, and proud to be so. I've defended people in the criminal courts for upwards of 45 years, and I'm proud to have done it. But when it comes to the law, I sit at the feet of those who have already spoken, like Geoffrey Robertson QC, and the utterly tireless and dedicated Professor Sara Chandler. You know why she had to leave early. She told us. She had other human rights commitments. She inspires me. You all inspire me. The stalwart people in Camp Ashraf, forgive me, inspire me in a sense even more. I sit at the feet of those two lawyers who've spoken ahead of me. I sit at the feet of Professor Guy Goodwin-Gill, who explains so lucidly and with quiet passion what the law really is, so that there can be no misunderstanding, there can be no wriggling, there can be no pretending that there's any issue here as to where right lies. Yes, Robin Corbett is here with us, and he'll be with us in the future. He'll be with us wherever we have gatherings like this. He'll be with us in the Houses of Parliament, in Stockholm, in Geneva, Paris, Aix-les-Bains, New York. And on that blessed day, he will be with us in a free and democratic Iran. I've been moved and impressed and informed by the speakers who've gone before me. And Christina was right, you know. It was Robinson Crusoe in the 1700s who said this: "Of all the ills with which mankind are cursed, ecclesiastic tyranny is the worst." The fight goes on. The effort will be redoubled. That I pledge, as did Sara Chandler before me, on behalf of my profession. This is a time to exert every sinew. And that's what we shall do. Thank you very much indeed.
The next is Professor Guy Goodwin-Gill, who's an eminent lawyer, expert in refugee matters, long supporter of our cause.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad in many ways to be talking towards the end of this long day, because much of what I wanted to say had already been said. When we come to the United Nations and its own particular role, there I do think we see potentially a very serious problem emerging. The credibility of the United Nations is very much on the line. And it seems to me in no small measure due to the secrecy, the lack of openness, the lack of transparency with which the present Special Representative of the Secretary-General has decided to characterise his mission. UNAMI, I would be the first to admit, is by no means a perfect organisation to have in place. It does not have a monitoring or supervisory function. It has a role in the reconstruction of Iraq, which the Security Council gave it, certainly. And it operates in Iraq, as the representative of the United Nations, as the representative of the UN's goals. But it has not got any clear oversight or monitoring role, as I said. It lacks teeth. But still, it represents the UN. It represents our United Nations. And amongst its various functions, its human rights role is still central. You may remember, many of you, that in January 2011, UNAMI published its report on human rights in Iraq the previous year. It called attention to many of the problems, many of the needs that still needed to be met, to the continuing torture of detainees, to arbitrary detention, to discrimination, and of course it flagged up what had happened in Camp Ashraf. We are still waiting for the latest UNAMI report on human rights in Iraq. We are waiting for UNAMI to highlight those matters of not common knowledge. We are waiting for UNAMI to bring the spotlight once again on the still deplorable human rights situation in Iraq and to speak the truth about Ashraf and about the humanitarian catastrophe that goes under the name of Camp Liberty. Now, Liberty, we are told, has been certified fit for purpose. But by whom? According to what international standards? In the light of what best practice? And it's very, very difficult to find out. We have seen some of the reports, the technical report attesting to fitness for purpose, but it's written in language which itself is highly equivocal. Yes, there are generators. They were working on the day we were there, but we're not sure they're going to work tomorrow. To me, that suggests a certain measure of serious reservation on the part of the inspectors with regard to the viability even of that one element of the camp, so-called Liberty. The evidence, the facts on the ground, the photographs, the narratives, of course, tell another story. And I think it's worth underlining that this is actually not a UNHCR camp. It doesn't comply, as far as I can see, to any extent with what UNHCR considers to be the essential requirements for a refugee camp or a transit centre or anything. The Special Representative of the Secretary-General tells us that the MOU, under the MOU, the UN will provide round-the-clock monitoring, but there is little or no evidence that that is going on at the present time. The responsibility in this rather difficult area of coordination between UN agencies, the responsibility in this area must fall to Ambassador Corbett, the Special Representative of the Secretary-General. It's from Ambassador Corbett, that we must continue to push for answers, and we want answers. So in the face of that intransigence, in the face of that often, it seems, willful disregard of the facts, it is essential, as was mentioned earlier this afternoon, that we see put in place a group of competent and experienced investigators, that they should be enabled to look closely at the actions of the Iraqi government, that they should be able to review the intelligence which has come out and which has also been referred to today, the intelligence relating to Iraq-Iran relations and the policy on Ashraf. This group should also be able to ensure that the facts are known, and much as is going on with Syria at the moment, it should have the competence and indeed be encouraged to identify those who may be responsible for the development of policy and the implementation of policy which has negative impact on the residents of Ashraf, which results in violations of human rights, with a view, in due course, to justice being done in another forum. I very much hope that the Special Representative of the Secretary-General, Ambassador Cobbler, will see the writing on the wall and dispel this very strong impression of bad faith. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.